Celtic are in transfer overdrive this morning. Mika Bau is at Lennoxtown right now completing his move. A Chelsea left-back prospect has visited Celtic Park and the training ground for loan talks, and Hassan has already made Celtic history before he has even kicked a ball. But there is also a major concern this morning. Alistair Johnston could now miss both legs of the last Champions League playoff after picking up a knock against Kilmarnock. And Martin O'Neill has given us his first public health update since his hospital procedure. Huge morning. Let's get into it. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Landon Emenalo, an 18-year-old left-back from Chelsea, has travelled to Scotland for talks with Celtic over a possible loan move and was shown around Celtic Park and the club's Lennoxtown training base. The visit was reported by Sky Sports journalist Anthony Joseph, who confirmed the teenager held discussions with the club on Wednesday and got a look at the facilities in person. An image has since circulated online that appears to show Emenalo at Lennoxtown. Nothing is signed and no official announcement has been made, but a visit of this kind signals this is considerably further down the road than just having a name on a list. The need for a left-back has been clear all summer. Kieran Tierney has started both Premiership games and looks sharp, but he is the only recognised senior option in that position. Over a season that includes a Champions League playoff, League Cup ties and a packed Premiership schedule, Celtic cannot carry Tierney alone in that role without backup. Emenalo has come through the Chelsea Academy and also spent time in Monaco's setup before returning to Stamford Bridge. He has been capped at under-18 level for England and got 63 minutes of first-team football during Chelsea's pre-season win over Western Sydney in July. At 18, a loan move to Celtic would be a significant step up in his development. He would be stepping into a competitive first-team environment week in, week out, rather than waiting on the fringes at a Premier League club. For Celtic, it would solve a genuine problem in the squad without committing to a permanent deal. This one is worth watching very closely over the next 24 to 48 hours. Now for the main story, as Celtic have been dealt a potentially serious blow, with Alistair Johnston now a major doubt to feature in either leg of the Champions League playoff against Lask. Johnston was withdrawn at half-time during Sunday's 5-1 win over Kilmarnock after feeling a niggle. Sean Maloney described the decision as precautionary at the time, but the situation this morning looks significantly more concerning, with Sunsport reporting that Johnston could be facing a spell on the sidelines that rules him out of both legs against Lask. The stakes could not be higher. Celtic host the Austrian side at Celtic Park on Wednesday, the 19th of August, before travelling to Austria for the return leg on the 25th. These two matches will define a huge portion of Celtic's financial and competitive season. Champions League phase football would bring in tens of millions of pounds on top of the prestige and the quality of opposition it brings. Losing Johnston for both legs would be a real blow. He has been one of Celtic's standout performers since arriving from CF Montreal and one of the most important players when fully fit. He missed the majority of last season with a serious hamstring injury, fought his way back, played prominently for Canada at the World Cup, and had started both Premiership games this term looking as sharp as ever. If he cannot feature, Colby Donovan and Anthony Ralston are the options at right back. Neither offers what Johnston provides in terms of experience, intensity, and quality going forward. There is also the transfer dimension to consider. Everton have been tracking Johnston, and interest has not fully disappeared. An injury at this stage of the window complicates that picture for everyone involved. Celtic will be hoping the next few days of assessment bring better news. Right now, the signs are not encouraging. In other news, Mika Bau has arrived at Lennoxtown this morning and is in the process of completing his move to Celtic from German club Paderborn. According to Record Sport, Bau is at Celtic's training ground ahead of finalising a deal worth up to £6,800,000. Sky Sports report the structure is around £4,500,000 up front, with a further £2,300,000 potentially due in add-ons, a significant chunk of which is understood to be tied to Celtic qualifying for the Champions League phase. Bauer has already undergone his medical and agreed personal terms, so the remaining formalities are expected to go smoothly. The 22-year-old comes from Paderborn, where he was a key player in their Bundesliga 2 campaign and played a part in their playoff for promotion. He offers Celtic a different profile in central midfield, a player who can carry the ball forward, operate in tight spaces, and contribute at both ends of the pitch. The timing is critical. UEFA regulations require squad registrations to be submitted ahead of the first leg, meaning Celtic are working against the clock to get Bauer signed and cleared to play before Wednesday, the 19th of August. If the paperwork is completed as expected, Bauer could be available to feature from the first LASK game. That would be a genuine boost to O'Neill's midfield options at exactly the right time. The window is finally delivering. Hassan in, Mika Bau now close, and Landon Emenalo in discussions. Celtic are moving. In other news, Martin O'Neill has spoken publicly about his health for the first time since undergoing his hospital procedure last week, and the update is an encouraging one. O'Neill was absent from the dugout for Sunday's 5-1 win at Kilmarnock, with Sean Maloney taking charge from the touchline. Despite not being at Rugby Park, O'Neill still managed to have an input on the day. He met the Celtic squad at the team hotel before the bus departed for Kilmarnock and delivered a few words to the players ahead of what turned out to be a commanding away victory. Speaking to Celtic player, O'Neill gave his own assessment of how he is feeling. He said, "Better than last week, anyway. A couple of ailments rolled into one, unfortunately, but I'm getting there, which is good news. Short and to the point, which is very him. But the message is positive. He was discharged from hospital shortly after the procedure, and assistant Sean Maloney visited him afterwards and reported that the manager was in good form. Celtic travel to Dundee United this Saturday evening for a League Cup second-round tie with kick-off at 5:45. Whether O'Neill is back on the touchline for that game will depend on how his recovery progresses over the coming days. There is no need to rush him back. Maloney has handled things smoothly in his absence, and with Lask arriving the following Wednesday, keeping O'Neill fully rested and ready for the biggest games of the season matters far more than ticking the box for one cup tie. The most important thing is that the manager himself sounds upbeat and is moving in the right direction. Lastly, Hassan has made a small but proud piece of Celtic history before he has even played a minute for the club. The Egyptian winger is the first player from Egypt ever to sign for Celtic. Celtic officially unveiled Hassan on Wednesday night, confirming the move from Real Oviedo for an initial fee of £6 million, with add-ons potentially taking the deal to £9 million. A portion of those additional payments is understood to be triggered if Celtic qualify for the Champions League phase, which, given the timing of the last tie, is a very direct incentive. Hassan joins a short but meaningful list of players who have broken new ground for their countries at Celtic Park. Mohamed Salim was the first Indian to sign for Celtic back in 1936. Rudi Vata became the first Albanian when he arrived in 1993. Victor Wanyama broke new ground for Kenya in 2011. Now Hassan does the same for Egypt. Camilo Duran, who joined earlier this summer, made similar history as the first Colombian to pull on the green and white hoops. Two players from two countries that had never previously been represented at Celtic signed in the same window. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.